Hi, well, I'm Franco Fernandez. My JC number is ESNI 18873. This is G022 International Business. And well, I'm going to export Grupo Pascual, a Mexican company, to either Chile or Japan. And in this presentation, we will review which country is better than the other and why. Well, this is our agenda. We'll start with an introduction to this company, its products, the methods that I use for this research, a pest analysis of both countries, Unilever and how they market their products, which country is a winning country, my marketing plan, conclusions, recommendations, and then the references. Well, Grupo Pascual is a Mexican company founded in the late 30s by Rafael Jimenez Amudio. It started as just a normal enterprise. It became later a cooperative and then a cooperative society. They have more than 20 products marketed in over 15 countries, but they have some inner issues, like for example, each time people are more conscious about sugar levels, and it's becoming more expensive to produce substitutes for sugar, and they use each time less actual fruit. Now the history. It was, as I said before, founded in the late 30s by Rafael Jimenez Amudio. Their first products were never soft drinks or soda or milk. They were actually popsicles. The first fabric was made in 1940 in Colonia Nahuac, and they made the product, the soda called Pata Pascual. And also in this time they adopted Lulu. I don't know if you see that little baby girl from Grupo Pascual. They adopted the image in 1950 and is famous until now. In 1960, they made two agreements, one to export their products to the United States and one with Tetra Pak, so that they were the only ones that could do this with their products. A few years later, there was a strike with their employees because a law was passed where salaries must be augmented according to the rule they were having. The owner decided not to augment the salaries, so the strike went on. The employee strike won, so both agreements were cancelled. 20 years later, another strike was made by the same causes, but this time the owner, Jimenez Amudio, gave the order to its people to fire if it was necessary, so they killed 2 employees. And well, this caused a major revolution, so Pascual moved to Aguascalientes in what is called Proyecto Aguascalientes. They changed everything, its headquarters to Aguascalientes, that is a state in Mexico, and it started to function, but again, they started from the bottom. In 1985, it consolidated as a cooperative, and they finished the PA agreement and went back to Mexico City, this time to Planta Sur, that it's another fabric. They became a Sociedad Cooperativa, and now for the product. Their most famous product is Boing. They have flavors mango, tamarind, strawberry, pineapple, apple, guava juice, orange, and peach. We also have other products like regular Coca-Cola, non-carbonated beverages like Lulu, citrus, leche Pascual, agua Pascual, and Power Duck. Power Duck is like Red Bull or Monster. Their ingredients are mainly just water, sugar, chemicals, no real fruit. They taste good. For my research, I use primary sources like interviews and secondary sources like internet, books, journals, magazines, and newspapers. Now for the pest analysis. Well, politically, Japan is a stable country. They have a parliamentary system. They are members of the NATO organization and of the World Trade Organization. Economically, they're the 3rd largest economy. They have an excellent GDP. They have an inflation rate of 0%. Their exchange rate is somewhat stable, but also their coin, that is the yen, is not so powerful as it's supposed to be according to the country, but it's stable in their own way. Now, Chile politically, according to BBC, it is the most stable and prosperous nation in South America. It is a democratic and constitutional republic. They have a free trade agreement with Mexico, something that Japan doesn't, so that's something to consider. They're also members of the World Trade Organization. Economically, their GDP is not as good. It's ranked 43 in the world. Their poverty line is below 15, and the unemployment rate is 6%. There are some rankings, economical rankings. USA has an triple A. Chile, for example, has just one A. So it's not a good ranking economically speaking globally, but it's not that bad. Now, socially and technologically, Japan socially, they have some very good green ideals coming up. They speak Japanese mainly, and their religion is Buddhism. Their population is 97 Japanese. They're not very foreigners living there. And when you're doing business, it is so standardized in Japan. You have to follow a lot of rules, and it's drastically how men have control of the business rather than women. Technologically, more than 75% of the people in Japan have ready internet access in their homes. In Mexico, for example, is 45, so it's almost double. Corporate laws are really strict and enforced, and it is, as I said before, one of the countries with more use of technology. Chile socially is a multi-ethnical country, although obviously the most people that live there are from Chile, but also a lot of Europeans have come to Chile. Education is a major problem here because schools are mainly private. Those that are private are really good, but they're very expensive, so not a lot of people can afford them. And social groups are strict in Chile. Technologically, they have an international airport in Santiago. They have a maritime port in every port. They are the world leaders in the use of Facebook. And well, compared to the more than 75% of the people have internet, Chile has lower than Mexico. Chile has 40% of people use internet. Now, Unilever is such an amazing company. They're the third world largest company in the world. They see things differently. They first, when you do a business, there are people think about revenue, costs. They think about the customer. What is what the customer wants? What is what my consumer needs? So their first priority is the consumer, then it's themselves and what is going to cost them everything they want to do. They focus more on the person rather than themselves. So they, as I see in their marketing, they have 3 steps. They find a new market, they study it, and they adapt to it. It's simple. Okay, so the winner is Japan. It is certainly just a great power, economically stable, politically it's good. They're parliamentary, so it's not a democracy, but it's not like anarchy or something. So it's a good government. As I said before, Chile is good, it's stable, it's prosperous. It's ranked 38, but Japan is just massive, it's stable. No inflation rate, so that means our products will always have the same prices no matter what. It has the highest income per capita, just below Switzerland and Finland, and they're ranked 4th in the total GDP. This is the president of Japan, and well, how I'm going to market my company in Japan. First, I'm going to do a foreign direct investment, because there's no treaty between Mexico and Japan. I cannot export my things because tariffs and trade barriers are just too much. So I'll start by putting some money in there, in Japan. The problem sometimes with a foreign direct investment are the risks. So you have to be committed because in here you're investing everything, and if it's lost, it's gone. So you have to be very committed with what you do, and with commitments comes very high potential safety. You require greater knowledge for the foreign direct investment, and then when I'm stabilized in Japan, I'm going to make a joint venture with a soda selling company, so that people see me as an insider rather than as an outsider. Now, as a conclusion, it is important to have inside information because Japan is so standardized in how they do business. It is important to have our good product placement and our marketing. And we should consider lowering sugar levels because, Japanese is looks that it's a product from Unilever. It's so important because Japanese are considered with beauty. So if you want to, go the same road, you should consider sugar levels. As a conclusion, Japan, as I said before, it's an economical power. Chile is stable, it's prosperous, but it's not Japan. The interest and delight Japanese people have in, like, it is proven that Japanese people dig like flavors like guava, tamarind, mango, and those flavors are in Pascual products. So the delight they'll have in those products, I think it will sell. And that's it. Does anybody have questions?
Do you think lowering sugar levels will be enough for Japanese to like your product?
What?
Do you think reducing sugar levels would be enough for Japan to like your product? For they're really healthy.
Well, obviously it's not the only thing I have to do to reduce sugar levels, but it is something that will definitely improve my business and will help me make more sales for it.
Will you create more products so that the Japanese can be more? Will you create more products so the Japanese can be more interested in your company?
I think the products Grupo Pascual has right now are stable and are good. So maybe at the beginning, we're going to see how much we sell and how much potential we have, and then we'll maybe review those options.
Do you think it's necessary to like create more flavors than what Grupo Pascual offers, or if it's like sufficient with what
Well, Japanese people, as I said before, like those flavors that are not made there because Japan does not have a tropical climate like in Mexico. So products like mango, guava, tamarind are not in there. So those products are going to be our basis, and then maybe we can like research on everything more that we would like.
would you expand it to other countries, not in Europe, like more in Asia?
Well, Japan is in Asia.
No, but more like other countries besides Japan.
Well, obviously Europe has also has big economies like Germany, for example. So I would definitely consider other like great powers but also great powers with great income that would pay for my product.
Thank you very much.